What's up, guys, and welcome to the One Realm. This episode is going to be all about the very first Kombatkast for MK11. As always, I'm Diego. I'm here with my co-host, Thomas.
What's up, guys?
And I think the topics we're going to be covering is going to be, of course, Kabal, his whole reveal, his gameplay, his looks, all the stuff that, all the unlockable gear. Of course, we're going to be talking about a little bit about Devore. We haven't really seen much about her other than just the way she looks, just a screenshot, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't really see any gameplay. But yeah, Thomas, like, what was your first thoughts when I sent you the picture of Kabal?
Well, first everyone knows that I just started a new job, so it's pretty much impossible for me to just stop whatever I'm doing to watch the combat cast anymore. It's unfortunate. But, yeah, I thought it was I couldn't really enjoy it as much because it's just a picture. But like, as soon as I get my break finally, I looked at the trailer, and I thought it was badass. After watching everyone else's reaction, I'm kind of happy I waited too. But yeah, you sent me like pictures, the screenshots of the gear they had for him. And you told me he had a jetpack now. I'm like, this is kind of interesting now.
Yeah, there was a
I
lot
like
of
this ball.
interesting stuff about him. Like, I was about to say, the jetpack thing that really kind of caught me by surprise because I knew about it. There's just a lot of weird stuff about it. Like now he can. I don't know if did you watch everything about Cabal? You watched all
Yeah, I
the
watched the
stuff.
whole thing later.
Okay, what do you think about that weird move where like now he can shoot smoke at you, like not smoke, excuse me, like gas. He can kind of poison you a little bit, and it just kind of stays in front of him for a few seconds.
I,
Did you see that one?
yeah, I saw it, but I think stuff like that makes me kind of wish gear wasn't almost a thing.
Right, because that's just a very weird move, and I don't know how much I like it because it's kind of like you can hide behind a wall. I mean, if it doesn't really help you that much if you're against somebody like who has a teleport, but I don't know. It's just kind of it's a weird thing. Of course we need to wait and see how it plays out once we actually get our hands on the gameplay. But
Hmm.
it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, I like the fact that guys like Cabal who he doesn't really. I mean, let's just be honest. Like he was only in MK3. Then what was he in? MK Deception was he was in Deception, right? Yeah. And then Armageddon. So he doesn't really have quote unquote classic moves other than his what's it called, the dash. Damn it, I'm thinking.
Dash, the hook sword throw,
Yeah, and the little yeah, but he doesn't really have
magnets.
a ton of classic moves. So he's one of those characters that you could technically give him a lot more options, like a lot more new stuff that hasn't really been seen before. But I don't know. Having a jetpack type of thing where you can, it's just kind of weird. But they're going with a completely different, style of gameplay. It seems like with this one, so we'll see what happens. But I like the idea of having so many different types of moves that you can equip to make every single variation different. But at the same time, stuff like that kind of worries me. But I don't know. Like it looks interesting. I'm always worried about this type of stuff.
Well, this is just the gameplay in general. Like, it looks good. It's like, how is it really? And that just goes to we have to wait till, in our case, technically, March 28th.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Temp and Django they weren't at the actual reveals, right? So they both didn't get their hands on the game, like the guys from another cast.
If they are in charge of the Warrior Shine, then no, they were not.
Yeah, that's kind of where I get my, I always kind of rely on them when it comes to giving the actual breakdown of how the gameplay is. So we don't really know a whole lot about it in terms of that, but some other guys, if you want to get more of like a detailed summary of how the gameplay is and stuff like that, definitely go check out the Nethercast guys. I think it was the reveal event episode, so check that out. But as of the gameplay, like what I've seen so far, I'm pretty enthusiastic about it. It looks really fun. And it seems like there's a lot of variety of the characters, which is something that's always really fun to have. Everybody kind of has their own play style, and even amongst people who have similar play styles, there's still always some variety. There's always some subtle differences to how you want to play as that character. And I like the fact that now with like Sub-Zero, he can play in a way that he can play zoning, which really wasn't something that you could really see about Sub-Zero. And it's really interesting. But I guess we should probably just stick to talking more about Cabal. What are the three? Excuse me, guys. What were the three variations that they've shown so far? Did you like the most?
Well, it's all pretty much layouts, but even then, I like the jetpack, and I like to say what I like about the three different iterations. It's hard for me to say because I don't really know the three different what's different about them. But um, out of the three looks, I like the first two the most, and that was the uninjured one and then the revenant one.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the skins they showed.
Okay.
But on the moves, I think out of the ones I've seen, or at least when they changed them, was the hooked sword throw.
Okay.
And how it's not as big and it doesn't look as weird either.
Yeah.
Also, you can throw it in the air, you can throw it on the ground, you can throw it across. It's like having Jade back in the game almost. That's what it reminds me of almost. When she throws her little glaive.
Yeah, I mean, there's interesting things about like what I like about it is that it's kind of worrying for some characters, like you said, Jade, and as well with Frost. It's kind of worrying because Sub Zero has a lot of moves and a lot of kind of styles that are kind of reminiscent of Frost. So it's kind of worrying for those characters if you are hoping to see them come back. But it is kind of cool to see these characters, like I said, have completely different styles.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. Just I'm gonna. You think I have never like looked at Kabal and was like, I'm gonna play that character today. Not in three, not in Deception, definitely not Armageddon. Nine, I think I only played him because one, he was in the story, and two, because it's like I'm not sure if they give you an achievement for it. I'm pretty sure they do, but it's my own little achievement to beat the towers with every character.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not, it's not about like their story towers, but outside of that, but like looking at all this, I'm like, I actually want to play with them. But then again, also I want to give every character a try too because there's characters who you like I would never play with and end up being your best characters, and then those characters who are your favorites and you try to pick them up the first day once, like wow, I suck with this character.
Well, I
But
mean, yeah, I actually really, really, really liked Cabal and MK9. I remember, like, like you said, it's always fun when the game first comes out to really try all the characters, give them a fair shot, see which ones you kind of like at first glance, and then kind of roll with them. And Cabal was arguably, I'm not gonna say he's my favorite, but he was up there among my favorite because I liked how fast he was, and I just kind of like
mhm,
I was able to kind of do mix ups with him. Not mix ups, excuse me. Like figure out how to just kind of use him and actually do some combos with him, which is something I'm not usually good at. So overall, I found him to be pretty usable. I found him to be pretty fun to use as well, and I'm really really excited to see how he is in MK11 because he was a character that I actually was hoping to see in MKX, but never really made it. Um, Even as DLC, of course he's not a really popular character, I would say. So he's not really main. He's not really in contention to be on the DLC slot. So I never really expected him to be in there, but I was hoping, and I'm actually really 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 curious to see two things really with him. Number one, how he plays, of course, because he's a really fun player. He's a really fun character. And number two, what kind of role is he gonna have in the story mode? Because like I think his black no, he was the Black Dragon, correct? Afterwards, yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
is.
yeah. His Black Dragon was it was pretty shit if I recall correctly. So I mean, what kind of story are they gonna go with? Now we saw that they have the unburned version, which kind of makes me think that he might actually show up. In the story, it might be the younger version of Cabal before everything happened, but that could just be a skin. So it's kind of hard to really judge what kind of role he's gonna have in the storyline. But I'm actually really really excited to see what happens with him.
One thing I can say is this is a whole story mode thing. It's just we have no idea what's really going on with it. But if I had to take a guess, I would say maybe they're just pulling characters, like bring characters back to life in general for their side. I think we talked about this in the past, but um, taking certain characters and offering them life to fight against Raiden. I
Okay.
mean, that's two wins for some people's eyes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of a matter of, I don't know. At this point, I kind of have a hard time, like, really thinking about what's going to happen with the story mode because we don't really know a lot about it. All we know is, Raiden did what he did to Shinnok, and then the Kronika wants to come, is trying to take things back to where she wants it to be. But other than that, we don't really know what's going to happen with the Revenants. We do know like, there's going to be, the regular version of Liu Kang and Katana, but we don't know what everything is going to be like. So it's kind of hard to speculate when it comes to story mode, but I don't know. I hope that they give Kabal, the light of day that he deserves because I really, really, really enjoy him as a character. And he's one of those guys that I mentioned this a lot, and whether it's my videos or whether it's these podcasts, that there's a lot of characters in the Mortal Kombat universe that have a lot of potential that never really get used in the correct way, and I think he is definitely one of them. They've tried to use him, they've done some things with him, but they've never really made him a great character from a story point of view.
Darius.
This is their chance. Darius? Did you say Darius?
Huh?
Did you say Darius? Dude, come on now. How many times are you gonna do this to me? Every single episode at this point. It's just you're just trying to piss me off. You're just trying to piss me off.
Pretty much.
I'm sick as it is. All right. If you guys haven't noticed, I have a bad cough. I'm not feeling too good. And this dude's bringing up Darius. I mean, it's just I don't know. What should I do? Should I quit the podcast? Just let me know. At this point, I don't really know what to do with the guy. So you go ahead and carry on. You go ahead and talk about Darius, the Kabal, do whatever you want to do.
No, but yeah, that's just the case with a bunch of characters. Baraka's another full example.
Yes, Baraka.
Baraka, Scarlet. We talked about this when the thing first came out, but we didn't see that happening.
Absolutely not. And I will go ahead. I think we should go ahead and talk a little bit because we have seen a bit more gameplay from Baraka too.
Yeah.
How fucking awesome does Baraka look, man? How fucking awesome does he look?
He looks amazing and plays. Oh, I want to say plays amazing, but we haven't played yet. Oh,
but it looks like he plays amazing.
Exactly. Like it's like, oh, he plays amazing. But you play the game? Well, no. But he looks like he plays amazing, though.
Exactly, and that's more than you can say for a lot of characters. Like I remember the first time I saw Sub-Zero in MK9, I did not look enthused, and I actually didn't like him in the game as it was. So I mean, there are certain characters that when you see them on screen, like even when you're not playing them, you think this is gonna be a fucking fun character to use. And so far, like honestly, all the characters we've seen gameplay of, there hasn't been a single one that I thought this one might not be that awesome. Baraka looks amazing. I think he might be my main just because how awesome he looks. Depending on some of the other characters in there. Who else do we see? Of course, Kabal. He looks really, really fun. Scorpion looks awesome. Sub-Zero looks pretty fun. I'm not necessarily I don't know if I'll use him as much because his style doesn't usually work for me. But he seems like he's a bit quicker this time around. So who knows? He might actually fit for me. And who else? Garrus looks really cool too. Like I was surprised by that. Garrus, I think he looks pretty cool. And what do you think about among the characters so far? Which one do you think looks the most fun to play?
Scarlet really does look like fun, and that's coming from somebody who didn't really play her in the first one, in her first game. Yeah, I played her a little bit just because she was a character. Like, all right, let's see how she plays. But outside of that, I didn't really care for her. And then you had the comics, and that made me like her a little bit more. I was like, okay, she's gonna be MKX. And she wasn't. I think this game, first of all, everyone looks great. Even though you don't like Ronda Rousey as Sonya, I still want to play with Sonya.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Listen, I don't like Ronda Rousey as a person. Of course, I don't know her, but based on what I've seen, I don't like her as a person. I don't like what I've heard so far of her voice acting, with those just little clips, in intros and stuff like that. I want to see more about how she does in the story mode, because apparently, I don't know if you saw, but they said that she does have a very major role in the story as well. So Sonya's going to be ever present. We're going to see what kind of a performance she puts down as a voice actor, because she's an awful actress, like a regular actress, at least on movies and stuff. I don't know about WWE, but she's an awful actress. But as a voice actress, she might be better. I'm going to give her the benefit of doubt and say she might have a chance, but based on what I've seen, I'm not enthused. However, Sonya's moveset, and this is from a guy who does not like Sonya as a character, has never really played as her, never really liked playing as her at all, whether it's story mode or arcade, whatever. I've always disliked playing as her. she looks extremely fun, and she's one of the first characters that we've seen so far. She's one of the ones I want to try first. Like she looks really really fun, acrobatic, fast. It looks really cool.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like you can have fast gameplay, but unless you look like actually having fun while playing, I don't care.
Yeah.
And her moveset does look like so. First of all, one of the first moves we see of hers is the double, not double, but the ring blast from the air. I'm like, okay, you have an anti-air, at least an air attack too, but that works for me. But also, she has a flying kick too. I really hope for one of her moves you can get from the gear is the bicycle kick.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been one of my favorite moves.
Of course, yeah.
Well, like I'll be playing my cousin sometime, or just in general, and if I pick up Sonya, the move I'm going to spam the most on really is the bicycle kick on World vs. DC.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, that's actually
Yeah,
my favorite version of Sony that I've actually played.
I like that. I mean, they say it does play. It's like a mixture between MK vs. DC and MK2. That's how everyone's really explained it.
Okay, that
How
makes
the
sense.
gameplay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, consider having like the well, in our case, since we play Xbox, the right trigger to enhance moves, you have to hit something else to enhance your move. And I'm fine with that. But I mean, you have to pick your characters fast. Like, who do you want to actually play with,
Mm-hmm.
and who are you willing to learn to play with?
Yeah.
Hell, I play more with Sonya than I do with Katana in my game. Doesn't make be the case this time, but when in Rome,
If Katana's in the game, which I'm pretty sure we all think that she will be, but if she's in the game.
so you can make jokes like that, but I can't say
Hey,
dares.
listen, dude, you asked for it. You're the one that started it, and you know it's
We
true.
agreed to this. We agreed to this a long time ago.
Oh, we're talking shit about Katana?
No, I say what the fuck I want. You say nothing.
Oh, that's how. Oh, okay, okay. All right, I see how it works. Well, I guess, guys, it's been a pleasure. This is the end of the podcast. Thomas Tipton's now gone. It's
Forever.
going to be a monologue from now on. uh,
But
this
no,
is uncalled for. Yeah, go ahead.
all realness though, every character just looks great to want to pick up and play. And obviously want to see more of the other characters too, and see who else we're getting in the game. But just gotta take it easy. My thing is, I think we're actually going to have to go the route where we don't know who's in the game.
What do you mean?
Well, so and I want to go ahead and count too, make sure I'm saying this right. Pull my calendar. So I don't have a timer for this thing. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 weeks and 6 days before MK11 is out.
Okay.
And we have a lot of spots not filled up right now.
Yeah. However,
Even with even with um the reveal of Kano, they didn't put a spot. They didn't put a spot inside the menu screen yet.
hmm
So there's a lot to cover, a lot of ground to cover in a small amount of time.
yeah, I mean that's a fair point. However, like, it's no, I have a theory here. I wonder because they kind of revealed Kano in a very, uninteresting way. They just kind of posted on Twitter out of nowhere. I mean,
Well, no, there was a big reveal, but just not for Americans or Italians either, I guess.
I guess why? Where'd they reveal it?
Of Brazil,
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. Because they had the whole skin for Brazil. Yeah, you're right. You're
which I
right.
think
You're
is
right.
BS, but
I mean,
I digress.
I don't know. It doesn't really bother me too much. At least it was a guy like Kano. It's like, who cares? He was no.
No,
I
I'm
don't really
like
give a shit.
like we just got over the whole fact that we're tired. We don't want um game console exclusives. Now we're getting country exclusive
Yeah, that is kind of fucked
stuff.
up. That is kind of fucked up.
The first time they
Um,
pulled that crap, the first time that I knew they pulled that crap was MK Deception when they put Shao Kahn and Goro on Deception on
on GameCube.
GameCube.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then MK Armageddon came out, and they put the female chameleon who I didn't know existed, so I didn't really care. But they gave them their only person too. I'm like, well, that's BS. And then we get to MK9, and we want to put um, Kratos on the game by himself on PS4. And then, all right, no more console exclusive, guys. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna do country exclusives. But everything in America, you can get anywhere else though.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of messed up, but I don't know. Like I'm not too worried about if it's just one skin about Kano. Then
Oh, I don't
well,
care.
here's the thing. I'm expecting them to eventually release that to everybody else. I'm assuming that's gonna happen. It's just who knows when. You know, it just kind of it's one of those
the
things.
edition.
It kind of is what it is. You know, when it comes to I don't know. I don't think there's anybody really clamoring like, "Oh no, that I want that skin so bad. It's so amazing." I don't think that anybody's really too worried about that. I mean, if it becomes a common thing where like each country has their own thing, or some countries do and other ones don't, and it's just then I could understand why it would be a problem because you can't get that skin anywhere other than if you live in that country. That's kind of fucked up. If it becomes kind of a bigger thing, but I think as a one-off, it's no big deal. But it could also be them testing the waters. You know what I mean? It could be them testing the waters, see how that kind of stuff works. But I don't know. I don't think it's too big of a deal. But I can understand why you would think so.
Yeah. Well, not that I don't care for Kano Hell. It's just if you're gonna what's the point of making like you said, I'm not sure if it's gonna be for everyone. It's probably gonna be released with the complete edition. But what is the point of that? I mean, yeah, to us it looks weird, but and they might get the joke, I guess. But what was the point of what is so special about Brazil? I guess that's the question.
I think the whole thing about that is, even in the last cycle, they were talking about how they were surprised, but Brazil is one of their biggest fan base. Like outside of, I think it's outside of America, outside of North America, they have Brazil is the biggest fan base for Mortal Kombat. So I think that's they, last in MKX they even had the Brazil costume back.
Hack.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
that's kind of them trying to. They realize that they have a big following there because Brazil, martial arts, whether it's jujitsu or kickboxing, whatever, they love it there. Shudo box, they all love that stuff there. So it kind of makes sense. So that's kind of them trying to push the market in Brazil, because they have a lot of ties with the UFC as well. And I don't know if you know this, but Brazil is basically their number one market. So it kind of makes sense for them to push Brazil as much as they can because of its Valetudo roots and all that stuff. So I think that's probably what they're trying to do. That's not that they already have a huge market in the U.S. and the U.S. already gets all the stuff. They already have all the. It's easy for them to do. Whereas in Brazil, up until not too long ago, I mean, it was actually kind of difficult for people in South America to really get these games. Like I have a friend, shout out to Aaron. He lived in Argentina, and a lot of times, in order for them to get PlayStation 2 games and stuff like that, they had to actually buy them from Colombian black markets. You know what I mean? So that was their only way in South America to get games for a while there. And of course, that it wasn't the only way, but it was for a lot of people the only way to get the game. So I kind of understand how I think that's my theory at least is them trying to kind of push the market in Brazil as much as possible to give them some, give them some love in their own way, and it kind of makes sense I think from that point of view.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, you see how they're doing a lot of push, with WWE type of stuff. They mentioned the UFC the other day in I think they mentioned on the Kombatkast and actually on an interview with Ed Boon. I think if I'm not mistaken, they did it both. They mentioned WWE and the UFC, so I think that they might be trying to kind of push that a little bit. And of course, you saw that John Cena tweeted a picture of Stryker with zero caption on the bottom on Instagram. So who knows? He might actually be voicing Stryker. Who really knows, man? Like there's a lot of weird little things going on with this MK game. Ronda Rousey being the voice. There's a lot of these little things that are going around. It's different. It's different, and they might just be testing a lot of things out. So who knows? I guess at this point, But at the end of the day, Brazil, they get their own little costume. I'm not too worried about it. Like, good for them. You know what I mean? I don't know, but other than Cabal, like we got to see, of course, just a picture of Kano, and then of course they announced Devora on the Inside Xbox interview with Ed Boon. Now, I'm not a big fan of Devora. I mean, she's kind of cool. I like the concept of her. She's got an interesting moveset and all that, but she's not necessarily a character I really like to play. But excuse me, guys, when I look at that picture of her render, I don't know, it doesn't really jump to me like this is gonna be a cool character to me. She kind of looks like a weird witch, you know what I mean? Like she looks like in Resident Evil 7, the mom. She kind of looks like that, if you know what I mean. I'll try to put a picture in there so you can kind of get a comparison. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree. A bunch of things. One, testing the waters on different fronts and trying to make it bigger. Mortal Kombat is already big for the past 25 years, 26 years, but it can always be bigger as well. And I was actually about the striker thing too. But and trust me, I wouldn't mind. I like John Cena, and that could be that mystery face that Ed Boon was talking about. But I highly doubt it as well, unless he. As much as I don't hate Striker, I doubt if they're gonna make him main roster. Maybe in the story mode, give him a full playset, and put him in DLC. But as a main roster, I don't think so. And Devore, there's not much to go off of, like you said, but Devore, some people like her, some people hate her. I'm indifferent. I'll just play.
Yeah, I pretty much feel the same way. Like, I don't like her. I lean kind of towards the dislike her because I just don't really, I don't know. There's just nothing about her that I really like. So she's just kind of like in the meh type of category. She's nothing really special about her, but I won't play it. I won't play as her, but I'm not really going to complain that she's there because she is the new character. They want to kind of push her a little bit more, maybe expand on her a little bit, and who knows? Maybe with a second game, with a bit more time on the screen and a bit more story development, she might actually appeal to me eventually. But there is one
How
thing I
about
want to
actual
say.
story development?
Yeah, exactly. But before I forget, I want to say one thing about Stryker and John Cena. You made a good point as to how he might not be on the main roster, but he might be a cameo. Excuse me, in the story. And what kind of leads me to think that he might have a chance, like Stryker being in the game, at least as a story, just to make a quick cameo, is that they did have Kabal in, and of course we don't know, like I said, if it's a part of the story or if it's just part of the gear, but his unburned version, and of course in MK9 they were partners in the police, so there might be something to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good point to bring up too. But I did see that good dynamic between um, Stryker and a Cabal who's in the Black Dragon, but not his own Black Dragon, and Kano.
Yeah, I think they could kind of work something around with those three guys. It would be interesting because they could possibly give Kano a little something other than let's just fuck with Sonya, let's fuck with Stryker, let's do something with Cabal. They could actually do something like that. And it could.
You
It
can
could be.
take all four of those characters
Yeah,
and do a really good story, a beeline story if you want. Here's
exactly.
and this is completely, well, not completely because it's about storytelling in general. Um, a show I'm watching right now is Vampire Diaries and the Originals. Fight me if you want. You have something to say. But um, they are really good at telling multiple stories at once. They have an A, B, C, D, sometimes even an E story, all going at once. And all of them and these are on episodes too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they not only do they need to make the story mode longer, but also actually give these stories development. Like all we do lately is give this person a couple of fights, and this is their their story. That's not right. We need to actually give them development And honestly, the one thing I don't want to do, I might just end up doing because Cyber makes a good point. When you watch the story mode with no gameplay before the game comes out, you don't know who's gonna win unless you actually are looking at the other small things. But you don't know who's gonna win. You just like keep going with it. So it's actually easier to enjoy the story versus just um. But yeah, versus just yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting what my train of thought.
You mean playing the matches and already knowing which chapter it is, who's going to win?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Like my whole thing was, I was gonna say, there's really two ways I think. There's really two things that I think could really make story mode more entertaining and possibly make it easier for them. Is number one, take out all gameplay. Number two, have if there is gameplay, then have both sides being shown. So like they kind of did with MK versus DC, where you played both the good guys and the bad guys. That way there is a mix of good guys and bad guys winning. If not, it's just always the good guys dominating. And just to really make that, there's really no like, oh my god, this bad thing is happening. The bad guys are actually doing something. It's always just the good guys are just, dominating. So I think that's definitely the best way to do it. Like, I don't think I've ever really, excuse me. I think I probably replayed story mode once, and it was MK9. Other than that, I pretty much just whenever I want to see the story again, I just kind of watch it on YouTube. It's 2 to 3 hours. It's really easy to do, and you don't have to worry about doing the garbage fights, especially some of the cheese ones. You know what I mean? Like with new characters, you don't really know how to use, so it's just kind of a hassle. So I definitely like the idea that they always kind of mention is just have a story mode only cinematics. That way you can actually like do something amazing with the story and really make it flow correctly. With all these little random, not really random fights, but all the fights in between, it just kind of takes away from the flow of the story, and it just kind of makes it kind of iffy. Like there's certain chapters in these games in the story modes that aren't really even about the characters. For example, Sub-Zero's chapter in MKX, it's just him fighting the combat kids one after the other at the Linkway Temple, basically. So
Sour story in 9.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much, just a few exposition plots.
Yeah, so it's
But
they're just kind of throwaway. So they should just kind of get rid of that.
the only thing I think that would make it better, and it's not gonna happen. I already know it's not. But it's a nice thought. Okay, you can't give a gameplay because that defeats the whole purpose of the point of a game. I see this one or two ways. Different stories. So, like how they did MKX, they introduced QuickTime events to different endings, but not as much.
Okay.
Injustice 2, they did the actual different endings, but they did the extra stuff for no reason. It was just stupid. Nothing really happened but the cutscene. Now, MKX, 811, which I doubt they did, but they really wanted to wow people because they pretty much treat story mode as the training mode. If they got rid of that aspect and just let you pick characters, like who you want to fight as or whose story you want to follow through, and then have to put the whole thing together by yourself, that'd be great. That'd be a kick-ass story. But still don't see that happening.
No, I definitely don't see that happening. But I will say one thing, man. Like everything that they've been showing so far, it kind of seems like they really have been listening to what we want. A lot of the things, whether it's colors, whether it's just, like gameplay changes. But well, of course we haven't touched it, but it seems like they got rid of a lot of the gameplay issues that people complained about. Stamina bar, for example, the 50/50s have been reduced. Characters seem to all have the same, either mid-low or mid-high moves to open up combos and stuff like that. So it seems like they have been listening to our feedback. So you never know. They might make the necessary differences to really make story mode even better. They might make it longer. They might be changing the way it kind of flows. You never know. Like I'm, excuse me, guys, once again.
I mean, this is
Yeah. Let me
this
just
is the
finish this
first
off
time I've
here.
heard someone say this.
Yeah.
Like, if it was like people were saying this all the time, then maybe I see it happening. But me saying what I just said, I think that's the first time it ever been said. So it's
Yeah.
like one of those things. Like, maybe if we were bigger on Ed Boon's, uh, not hit list, I guess, but like actually someone known,
Yeah. On
then
his
it'd be
radar.
different. Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, I want to be eventually, but we have a long way to go.
Oh yeah.
Like we just started last year. We make good episodes. We just are stuck in getting the maze sometimes.
Well, that's my fault. That's definitely my fault. I forget.
Definitely, I want to all the time.
Yeah, I forget. I forget, and I have a lot of issues when it comes to
Life.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But whatever. If all goes well, then starting from now, and of course I've said this before, but hopefully from now on nothing bad will happen, and I should have plenty of time to dedicate to all this stuff. So you can definitely expect at least an episode every week. Of course there's gonna be combat casts, and hopefully our plan is to do podcasts from talking about it from MK1 all the way up to MKX. Whether or not those
Yeah,
will all be
man.
out by the time MK11 comes out remains to be seen. But it's just a matter of life. We have a 7-hour time difference. It's 2:40 in the morning right now where I am, so understand. It makes it kind of difficult. But it doesn't matter, man. Last things I want to talk about real fast. They did mention that they're going to be announcing a new character in the next combat cast, and they said it's going to be a she. Now I know for a fact that you're hoping it's Katana, and I'm pretty much hoping it's Katana as well. But I'm hoping more that it's Frost. I don't think that's very likely. However, if it wasn't Katana and it isn't Frost, what character would you be happy to actually see coming back if it's a female?
That's a. I mean, it's pretty obvious why I want to come back. But so since it's obvious who I want to come back, let's ask who was the second or third person I want to come back would be. Would be a Jade.
Dude, but we went full robot.
Yeah, I know.
What the hell is going
Um,
on?
Sorry, you can hear me now.
Yeah, you're full robot right now.
I'm a human, yeah, or I'm a still cyborg.
I mean, it's actually kind of badass. So I guess just continue.
But no, I was going with Katana in the end. That's pretty obvious. So that's my number one. But if I had to pick, I guess 2 through 5, I would say Jade, Kanya, Melina. I know that's weird. Um, Frost, and all else fails, I guess, in Dell.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you are full robot, so maybe you can try to fix that for a second. I'm gonna talk for a second anyway. It's interesting. I think their guys were on I think it was Brusque Poet actually was talking about there was quite a few like polls and stuff like that to see which were the female characters that people wanted to see the most, and Sindel definitely wasn't one of the top ones. I don't know how you rate Sindel and stuff like that, but that was kind of interesting. So I definitely don't think she's gonna be coming back, but she could. I guess if I had to pick one, like I said, Frost, and if it isn't Frost or Katana, then probably Jade. Definitely Jade. I think, or yeah, I don't know. I think showing off Melina would be kind of a waste because I don't know if she's gonna come back, but if she does, I think it'd be kind of like a shock character towards the end because people really like her, and of course she died, but that doesn't really mean much because Brock also died. But I don't know. I think that I definitely want to see either Jade, Katana, Frost, or yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the ones I want to see. You mentioned Cyber Sub, and it just kind of flowed in like all of a sudden you were Cyber yourself, so it was pretty badass. Anyways, let's.
I wasn't.
What you were Cyber Sub? Well, you just said that on the podcast, so it's going
Oh
out.
fuck!
Yeah, it's
Everyone
going
knows
out.
that now.
Well, I guess You should just tell us if Sector or one of you guys are gonna be in the game.
Well, I'm not cyber no more, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. You're back to human version, so you're out of the Lin
That's
Kuei initiative, the cyber
pretty
initiative.
much how Quiet life went. It was this new timeline.
Oh, okay.
Non-cyberized, then cyberized. Then magically, I'm not cyberized anymore.
Okay, I see you, Chronica. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there.
Dude, remember that picture I seen you this week? So guys, for the past week, I guess, me and Diego just been sending stuff. Well, I've been sending him a bunch of stuff left and right. And what did I send you this week? Like two songs,
Yeah,
two
two or three
songs,
songs.
what if video, and a really interesting meme. The meme was about the endurance matches of MK1.
Which blew my mind.
No, not even the endurance, the
The
mirror
mirror match,
matches.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that was badass. I'm pretty much saying like how that was Cornica's version of having the old timeline facing the new timeline. I'm like, damn, that's smart. Not true, but still.
It's a really fucking good way to kind of finesse it to where it's like it just kind of fits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you sent it to me, I was doing groceries and I saw it, so I was like, it just kind of blew my mind for a second. I was kind of stopped in place. Like, oh my god, Ed Boon's been doing this for 25 years. He planned this whole
26,
thing
but
out.
who's counting?
26, yeah. Ed Boon, you savvy bastard.
But then I sent him this thing, and we might link these all later because we're not really playing them, we're just talking about them. But it's a cartoon parody of MKX, and it's a song, it's a musical version. It's like, that's pretty much what happened, except, well, Quan Chi killed Scorpion's family, not Sub-Zero's, but still. That was. I love music, so I guess when I hear stuff, especially with Mortal Kombat, it's like, it has my attention. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll give you my attention for the next 30, for the next 3 minutes. And then, what else happened? What else did I send you? Oh, MK9 rap
Oh yeah,
by
yeah,
Dace Hall.
yeah.
Now, you didn't like that?
I don't know. It's not really my type of thing, you know. I don't know. Like rapping about video games and stuff like that. It usually isn't really my cup of tea, to be honest with you.
I can see that, but I think when I first heard it, it was right either after MKX or right before. So it did give me hype at first, and now it's like, get me hype once, and it was gonna give me hype.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And I don't like rap either, so it really throws me off. Throws me for a loop.
Huh. Well, I mean, to each their own,
But
I guess. You know, some things just hit you in a way, and you just kind of stick with it. So I don't blame you for it. Like, it's like I said, it wasn't bad. It's just not really my cup of tea.
yeah,
So I mean, I know, and I actually really like rap. So you would think that it kind of would, but I don't know. It's just kind of the flow of it, like I don't know. It's like rapping us about video games. Just kind of always, I don't know. It's just kind of weirded me out. It's just I don't know. It doesn't. I like rapping. I like raps more than about life. You know, not about video. It's just a weird
yeah.
thing. It's just a weird thing of mine. Personal. It's just a matter of taste.
You have none. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, moving on from the constant Diego berating, are there anything? Is there anything that you want to talk about? You know, before we head out, about the Combat Cast episode 1.
Uh, Combat. Well, I think that was everything. And then it happened the past 2 weeks, I guess. The failed Combat Cast one, then the rejuvenated Combat Cast one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's everything. We hit everything we need to talk about it.
Yeah, we talked
And then we
Overworld,
can
we
only
talked Kano, we talked Cabal.
yep, talk Striker.
Yeah.
Oh no, that Aaron Black thing I told you about, you
Oh,
didn't
that's
hear
right. Yeah,
about.
what was that?
Okay, so apparently on the Steam page, people there's I guess screenshots of the achievements, and this isn't going much. But apparently you can get achievements for doing fatalities with certain characters. And with that being said, they have one for Sonya, one for Subs, one for Scorpion, etc., etc. Well, what they're doing, what someone saw recently, was that it's one for ERR. And the only person with that in the game right now is Aaron Black with those first three initials.
Yeah. I would also
So it's
just
not
throw in Ermac there because technically he's error code, so I guess he could possibly.
which
But I'd say it's Aaron Black probably.
maybe, but I mean either way, I'm cool. I didn't really play with Aaron Black, so
Mm-hmm.
I still think he's a cool character, but just never wanted to play with him.
Yeah. He's really cool. I like the idea of a cowboy character in Mortal Kombat. His fatality where he shot you and the sand came out of you, that was really trash. But other than that, he's a pretty cool character.
I liked it though.
Really? Holy shit! Hold on.
I thought you have bad taste.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking you have bad taste. To be honest with you.
I probably do.
We can just agree to disagree, but I don't know. How about this? For all you guys that are listening / watching, let us know in the comment section down below who has worse taste between the two of us. I have a feeling that Madona's
say
going
something,
to
I think to be pretty mean.
Yeah.
I'll save it till after we get off.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully Aaron Black is in the game. With Devore in there, I think it's pretty likely. I think that Kotal, Aaron Black, and Devore will be the only three villain characters that were introduced, that are from MKX that are gonna be in MK11. I think that when it comes to the combat kids, I think we will see Takeda because I think that he does have a little bit of a fan base. I don't think we'll see Kung Jin, but we might.
I think if we see Kung Jin, unfortunately, it might be to affirmative action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately, but and almost the same with Jackie. I'm not sure. We'll just wait until we see what happens.
I don't think Jackie will be in there, but we'll see. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Those two. Here's the thing. Takeda and Cassie were probably the two. First of all, Cassie and Dorg had the biggest push I've ever seen, ever. But Takeda was I think the rating between the combat kits, it does go Takeda, Cassie, Jin, and then Jackie.
Yeah, definitely.
And then in the form of the villains we just talked about, it goes, I'm just going to call it four of them, but it goes Aaron Black, a tie between Devore and Coil, maybe one beating the other one very slightly, and then Ferritor.
Yes. And
that is literally how it is, right?
Yeah, and I definitely don't think Ferritor's going to come back, even if Ed Boon had said quite a few times that Ferritor was his favorite new character, which was, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Ed if that's the case, but Ferritor was
exactly awesome.
I would say that Ferritor is actually the Dairu of MKX. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I just said it.
Dairu or Darius?
No, Dairu. Darius is slightly better. Don't quote me on that because I might change in in a few minutes.
If you literally delete that out of there, I will come to Italy and kick your ass.
I mean,
anyway,
I might delete it just to have you come over here so I can kick your fucking ass. But that's
cute. You think you actually can do something to me?
Dude, I have weapons. I have a right hand, bro. I have a right hand that you've never seen before, bro.
And if our government was still shut down, I would definitely come over a crossbow because it's TSA. You don't care about their jobs.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait. I'll come back to the U.S. eventually, and
yeah.
I'll come over to Oklahoma just to beat your ass, I guess. But I don't understand how this podcast went from just two buddies talking about Mortal Kombat to all of a sudden we want to fight over Darius. But I mean, yeah, we're giving Darius a little bit too much importance when it comes to talking about fighting each other. I mean,
I'm not doing nothing. I'm just,
but not Darius.
We're not doing anything. You're getting all this attention.
I mean, if you say so. You're the one that brought him up. The one that brought him up last episode.
Yeah, but
last couple.
And you keep letting me do it.
Yeah, I guess I might have to. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below whether or not I should boot his ass from this podcast or what. I don't know. At this point, I'm starting to have some doubts as to whether this thing might work over Darius. I mean, let's just do this. All right, this is to settle it to see if this thing is gonna have another episode. Is Dairu the worst character of all time in Mortal Kombat?
Oh, I really just don't give a shit. Anyway, I don't care for Darius, Daru,
Okay.
Utaro, but I think a fighting gives this thing gives a little bit more flair. So that's why I do what I do.
Okay.
Now, Grant, if I never knew you hated Darius as much as you did, because you told me this on the podcast, is why I run with it. I probably never would mention him. I honestly forgot who Darius was until you brought him up a long time ago.
That's true. Nah, it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. There is one thing I want to say real fast before we hang up, before we end this. The other day when I was listening to the Nethercast, I kind of got confused by one thing. They were talking about Cobra, and they weren't saying that he was a garbage character. They were saying that they actually really liked him. I don't know if they were being sarcastic. It didn't seem like it. Usually you can kind of read when they're being sarcastic, but they seemed to actually genuinely like Cobra. And
was it the Nethercast?
no, it wasn't. It was
Random
pure
Select?
Nethercast. Pure Nethercast.
No, like was it Nethercast, Random Select, The Lost,
No.
or
It was Nethercast.
the one they did last Thursday?
No, I think it was. Hold on, let me tell you the episode.
Yeah.
And of course, they're great guys. Definitely check them out. Definitely check out their podcast. I would say that they're the best Mortal Kombat podcast out there. But that kind of we're on a whole different level, dude. We're the only ones that are on our level. It was the Mortal Kombat reveal. No, it was either episode 99 or episode 100, one of the two. Because I listened to them back to back. I can't remember which one it was exactly. But they were talking about Cobra, and they're talking about those 3D era characters in general. And they were giving props to Cobra, like he was a good character. And I was just like, this dude is literally a Ken ripoff. But I don't know. I don't know.
I think it was 99. I hope it was 99 because I don't know why episode 100 was really hard to listen to.
Yeah, there was a lot of
between everyone screaming and he mentioned there's gonna be audio mess ups and don't make me feel like a bad person about this, but it's just like as much as I want to listen to it, and I am proud for them to get to episode 100, and I like the video just because I'm proud of them. I'm not going to lie and say I listened to the whole podcast.
Well,
I wanted to.
I did, yeah.
I really wanted to. I probably will do it one of these days. I do sleep. I sleep. Here's how much I love Mortal Kombat. I wake up and watch a Mortal Kombat video. I'll play a Mortal Kombat video game at least once a week now. Mm-hmm. And to go to sleep, I will listen to one of their podcasts. Just to, at that point I'm just exhausted. I'm like, okay, listen to another cast. It soothes me.
Yeah, I definitely feel you there. I do the same thing with. I used to do the same thing with other podcasts too.
No, I'm really trying. I don't know. Maybe this might get their attention finally. But I wanted to go on their Random Select, and talk about Katana. There's a few people who are fighting me on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like who?
Because I was actually looking for their names on there, but it turns out there's a lot more Katana fans than I thought there were.
Huh. All right. Well, I'll try to petition for you to be on there. I'll go on there later and petition.
Petition and post this video on there and say, hey, this guy is also on a podcast. You should probably put this guy on there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I definitely do that, yeah.
If I get on there, I'll be a very happy person. If not, well, we already heard what I said I would do to Chicago if Mortal Kombat keeps fucking me over.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Chicago is getting beat down by some pretty bad weather right now. So, yeah, I mean, I think you're getting revenge on them via weather.
I won't be going there anytime soon.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
definitely not. I would not recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, but I think that's everything though for now.
I think you're right. We covered, like we said, Kabal, Striker, Devora,
Kano
Kano, Aaron
pissed
Black,
you off.
yes, Darius. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so that is it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think of it. Of course, any recommendations, anything you might not like about it, just let us know everything, your opinions in the comment section down below. And we'll see you in the next episode, hopefully very, very soon. Which, like I said, we're hoping to do one every week when it comes to the Kombatkast reactions, stuff like that, as well as doing some other ones to kind of fill out the rest of the week. So, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Later.